Hi my couples, and welcome back to my channel where I give you tips and tricks every Wednesday on how to plan your wedding. So today we're going to talk about how to pick your vendors and how to go about choosing them. So when I sit down with my couples and they're asking me questions about how to pick their vendors, I always recommend asking them first, what's the most important thing to you guys? Do you care more about the photos? Do you care more about if everyone's having a good time and they're up on the dance floor? That kind of comes down to what matters to you and what you guys want to spend more on, basically. Everything always comes back to your budget, really. So look at your budget and determine how much you kind of want to spend on each type of vendor. Spend more on what's more important to you. Obviously, if the photos are more important to you, then you're going to want to go ahead and spend a little more on those to get the quality of photos that you want. If you want to make sure everyone's up on the dance floor and having a good time, then you might want to spend more on a DJ or band, depending on what you're going for. So I recommend looking at these vendors starting 12 to 18 months out because vendors like DJ and photographer or band, they book up just as fast as a wedding venue does. They are normally just one person, and as soon as they book that date, there's no one else to go and do another wedding. There's not two of them. So if there is a certain DJ that you know about or a certain photographer that you've kind of been following, reach out to them first to make sure that they have that date available for you. Especially if it's somebody who you're really interested in. If you don't have anybody who you know, I suggest doing your research. You can always hashtag your area. So if you're in, let's say, the Houston area, you're going to hashtag Houston wedding photography or hashtag Houston wedding DJ. That'll bring up a bunch of vendors for you. And you can kind of go through and scroll and look at their work. I can tell you DJs now are doing a lot more with social media platforms as far as actually taking, videos from weddings that they're doing and posting them on their social media platforms. So when you're looking at those, make sure that the guests are having a good time and, the music that the DJ is playing is, something that you can see yourself getting up on the dance floor too. There are websites that you can go to that will give you a list. Literally, you type in your zip code and they give you a list of vendors in each type. If you are going that route, make sure that you are not just clicking and hitting like a million different vendors. Do your research first because you don't want to get flooded with all of these responses and then you're just in a confused state of mind and it's not good. But going back to that social media, stalk them. If there is somebody that you are interested in, stalk them on social media. Someone that is constantly posting, new content, that means that they're doing this frequently, they're doing this all the time, and, they're not just doing this as, just a side gig. They are a wedding professional and, this is their full-time livelihood. Look at reviews. Someone who is getting 4 reviews per year versus someone who's getting 4 reviews per month. Again, who are you as a couple? Are you a relaxed couple? Are you I need everything planned down to the minute? That's gonna kind of come into this whole scenario. And again, spending on quality over, spending on what you can afford. If someone's getting 4 reviews per month, that means again that they are doing this all the time. They are getting good feedback from their couples. Well, make sure you're reading the reviews. They could be getting 4 bad reviews per month. That's a different scenario. But if they're 4 good reviews per month, then you can definitely be assured that they know what they're doing. If they're getting sporadic views, I've gone on some vendors' websites and they have like one from 2017, one from 2016, 18, maybe 2 from last year. That probably means that they're not doing this all of the time. It might be their side gig. That doesn't mean that they're not qualified to do it. But again, if you want somebody who's doing this every weekend and, is fully professional, then you probably would want to go with the person that's getting, those 4 reviews per month. Ask your friends as well. There is a time in your life, if it hasn't happened already, where there's like a good 2 years of your life where everyone you know is getting married. And it's literally just every other month you're going to someone's wedding. But while you're there, do research. Look at the food presentation, look at the venues, look at, who they're using for their vendors. If you liked the DJ, make sure you get his card at the end of the night, or before you leave the wedding, and just let him know, hey, we're getting married, and we really liked you, and, can we grab a card and, maybe talk with you further. Again, you have that time to really research your vendors and decide who you want to work with. Before you reach out to vendors though, I recommend narrowing it down to about 3 to 4 of each type. So 3 photographers, 3 DJs or bands, whatever you're kind of going with. Then reach out. Again, going back to that click kind of situation. If you're clicking a bunch of vendors, you are going to get a bunch of emails back. Side note, couples. If you reach out to someone, please, please, please respond to them. They have taken the time to respond to you and your inquiry, so please just be courteous and respond back to them. Even if it's just, sorry, you're out of our budget, or hey, we're still looking at our options and we still are, keeping you in consideration. Just shoot them an email back, because this is their job. They are going to continue to, reach out to you until they get some kind of final answer from you, whether it be yay or nay. After you've done all of that, meet with these vendors, meet with the photographer, meet with the DJ or band. Get a feel for them. You are going to be spending quite some time planning with them, but then also they are there the day of to make sure everything that you've planned and that you've wanted comes to fruition. So, your wedding planner, wedding coordinator, they are there with you basically from the morning until the very end of the night. So you want to get along with that person. You want to have a good relationship with them. Same thing with band or DJ. You want to make sure that you sat down with them. They understand what kind of music you guys like. Again, who you are as a couple. And then photographer, for sure you want to mesh well with this person, because they are there to capture the day. They are there to make sure that, they're catching those moments with you smiling. They're catching those little cute moments with you and your husband, or you and your wife, in these little areas that they kind of know about, especially if they've been to your venue before. That's something to ask them. Have you been to our venue before? Because if they have, then they know the property and they know how everything kind of works at that property, and the good spots to take those photos. And going back to photography as well, actually I didn't leave it. You also want to look at photography, again, going to their Instagram and looking at their style. There are tons of different styles of photography out there. When I first started in this business, I didn't even realize. I just was like, you have a camera, you shoot. No. There are different styles. There is different photographers that use different lighting, and so definitely check out the photographer's individual style, because they definitely all have their own styles. There's some that prefer lighter photos, there's some that prefer darker photos, there's some that capture, just regular journalistic, free-flowing kind of photos, and then there's photographers that will do those staged photos as well. But again, you want to meet with them, you want to get a good feel for them, because you are going to be spending a lot of time with them on your wedding day. So if you get that gut feeling, that's what I always tell my couples, if you have that gut feeling that this is it, this is who I'm supposed to work with, this is definitely the right fit, book them. Because again, we're working with you leading up to the wedding, normally 12 to 18 months, and then we are there day of as well. So you want to make sure that, basically, I feel like all my couples kind of turn into family at the end of all of it, because I've worked with them for so long, and we just kind of have a relationship. So those are my tips for looking for your vendors. If you guys have any questions, comments, you have an idea for a video and you want me to post it in the comments down below. I'm going to ask you guys, if you've already gotten married, what was your deciding factor for your wedding? So leave that answer in the comments below for your vendor. You know, what made you decide that type of vendor, or who did you go with? You know, leave those comments in the below. It's a free review for your vendor. I'm sure they'll love it. All right, so I will see you guys next Wednesday again for Wedding Tip Wednesday. And until then,